किया है you are live বুলি আহিছে বাৰু তাকে লেআউটটো মই তাকে চাই আছো So, hello everyone. So, we'll be today going with the Indian space programs. Okay. So, the very Indian space programs that we can see in the very fact that India has got a national space agency. Okay, which can be referred to it as a ISRO. Okay, that is the Indian Space Research Organization. So, this Indian space program is basically a mental set that whatever today we are going with the space programs, this space programs has got a huge reference to the very advent of the space programs that we see in today's life. We have got various number of satellites even, which has been demarcated well by the respective Indian space program agencies. Okay, so in this very space programs, we see that in various platforms. The ISRO, which is an agency with respective to the space programs that directly comes under the Department of Space, Government of India. Okay, so it is basically headquartered at Bengaluru. Okay, that is in Karnataka. Okay, so this space programs, what we see as of today, is a very reference that is being made with respective of the ISRO. So ISRO has got a vision. Okay, ISRO has got a vision to harness space technology for national development while pursuing various space science research as well as planetary explorations. In these space programs, we see that the space research activities were initiated in India under Dr. Bikram Sarabhai, the founding father of the Indian space program during 1960s. Since its inception, the Indian space program had three distinct elements, such as the satellite for communication, the remote sensing, and the space transportation system and its various application programs. In this due perspective, we have seen that in the recent past, this ISRO has directly gone for the very good number of space missions to which we can attribute with the various number of programs, be it the Chandrayaan, the Mangalyaan, the recently, which will be in the next practice, that is the Aditya L1. Okay. So the ISRO has directly achieved various heights in performing the business of taking India to some of the new heights. We all know that the very first satellite, which we all know that about the Indian spacecraft, that is Aryabhatta, that was developed and was launched in association with the Soviet launcher, is another landmark where the ISRO has achieved some of the new heights. In the various experimental stages, we have seen, be it Aryabhatta, be it the Bhaskara missions, they were all planning to have some of the remote sensing areas where we could find that this have helped immensely the government of India or the military or in various communication purposes. This very satellites, which has been categorized under the Indian Navigational Satellite System, be it the INSAT, we have the Indian Remote Sensing Satellite, which is the IRS. They are directly developed and operationalized under the PSLV, the GSLV, which were significant during carrying out the various programs in associated with the launch of the vehicles. In the very achievements with respective to the ISRO, we could see that the very communication satellites that was established back then by the time of 1983, we can see about INSAT 1B, the Indian National Satellite System. It is one of the largest domestic communication satellites. During the time, it was found in the whole of the Asia Pacific, and it was a major satellite which was launched at that time of 1983. This INSAT directly initiated a major revolution in India's communication sector and sustained the same later. The INSAT system provides services to telecommunications, various types of television broadcastings, various types of satellites news gatherings, various types of societal broadcastings, various types of weather forecastings, various types of disaster warning systems, and in the search and rescue operations. We heard about the satellite system, or which is directly told as the communication satellite system, be it the satellite GSAT-31. Okay, so the GSAT-31, the GSAT-7A, the GSAT-11 mission, the GSAT-6A, and various number of satellites associated with the geosynchronous orbit. These satellites are basically used as the communication satellites we have in our country that has been perpetrated by the ISRO during the time being from 1980s till today. if I directly come with the Earth observation satellites, the Earth observation satellites basically goes with the IRS. Okay, IRS basically goes in 1988 around, where we have first tasted the IRS 1A, which has launched many operational as well as remote sensing capabilities. And hence today we can see that right after 1988, India as of now has got the largest constellations of various remote sensing satellites in operation that is circumferring directly around the Earth. These satellites, which have caused the vehicles of instruments, have been flown on board, and these satellites have provided a data that is very much required for the sustenance of the Earth. Okay, supposedly Earthৰ লগত কি code কেনেকে আছে, what is the various factors that is associated with the Earth, okay, where we found the traces of or the various resources we can found, everything we can directly associate with such type of Earth observation satellites. The various Earth observation satellites we can found in the near time, be it the Cartosat, okay, be it the ResourceSat, okay, be it the InSat, okay. In various time, we have launched up with this particular type of satellites, which directly have a wide effect on the type of the Earth observation satellites what we found in today. Through these Earth observation satellites, we have observed various instances of Earth. Okay, supposedly if I have to go, supposedly Kobat, supposedly if you find that there is a particular type of fire that is going upon, okay, supposedly the forest fires, okay, supposedly we find traces of some elements in some area. So in these areas, if we know that at the proper location, this is very much essential. Supposedly if we got some of the evidence that a jagakinit we find some type of resources, but it is very much difficult for a human to visit this area in a very proper way. Okay, tate live goi pelai, tate as a physical man, at a goi pelai, tate physical presence diatu, it's a tough job for a human. So in that case, we will use this type of Earth observation satellites so that we could be very much full-fledgedly, we could conquer, we could particularly see these very areas, so that these areas could be used upon by very people, or by our very geographers, by our very geologists, okay, or by our various types of engineers who go there and very much inspect this site in the later duration of time. So these Earth observation satellites are very much of important, and it is very much of a huge achievements, be it with respective with the Cartosat, Earth observation satellites, be it the Cartosat, be it the ResourceSat, okay, be it even this one that is known as the Cartosat 2. There are various number of satellite activities, okay, bahut kita ami Cartosat heri banaisilo, okay, Cartosat 1, Cartosat 2, Cartosat 3, various number of Earth observation satellites we could found over here. So these very satellites are very important for observing the Earth observations from the very sky. Okay. Some other satellites which has directly made the ISRO grow at a splendid way is the navigation satellite. See, the navigation satellites or the navigation services are necessary to meet the emerging demand of the civil aviation requirements of the people. Supposedly today, in this very perspective, I mean navigation ki use karo directly the GPS, the global positioning system, okay, that is directly associated with the Google Maps. So in the near time, in the late 1990s, supposedly during the Kargil War in the 1999, we have seen that Indian government has asked for the USA to get the access of the GPS of them, so as to trace the positions of the Pakistani army who are sitting in the very belt of the Kargil. But at that time, since USA was an ally of Pakistan, they did not have directly given access to the GPS system, and hence at that portion of time, we directly faced with the circumstance that Amaru we also directly need a very perspective satellite system so that we could trace or we could navigate well the various positioning systems of various armies, be it in particularly with the Navy, be it particularly with the respective army. So Soborekand, even for the Air Force, even for the civil navigation. So everywhere, this was very much of crucial. And hence we have seen the essence, or hence we have seen the need of the navigation satellites in our country. And in this very period, the ISRO, to meet the civil aviation requirements, to meet the military requirements, at first, if I go with the Civil Aviation Department, we can see that the Airport Authority of India, jointly in collaboration with the ISRO, has directly worked upon to collaborate the GPS-aided augmented navigation system, which is directly known as the Gagan system. Okay. So the Gagan system is basically for the navigation purpose of the civil aviation, be it with respect to the flights. Okay. So hence the GPS-aided geo-augmentation navigation system was very much crucial for us to navigate the various affairs with respective to the civil aviation flights, with respective to the public flights. Hence, to meet the requirements of this navigation system, we have established a regional satellite navigation system which is known as IRNSS, that is Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. This Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System was very much crucial, not only for India, but for the whole of South Asia. Even India invited our very hostile neighbor, that is Pakistan, for this integration in this very particular respect of with this very particular with this very IRNSS. But in due course of time, they rejected because of some of the security concerns. But India has given some of the free access of this navigation satellite system to the neighboring countries, be it with respect to the Southeast Asian nations. So hence in this due process, we have seen that this navigation satellites, be it with respect to the Gagan, has immensely helped to overcome the very respective navigation satellite system program in our respective nation. And hence, the navigation satellites has got a very respective place in our Indian defense military systems also, because through this navigation systems, Kalipurhi area, for example, if the Indian government wants to plan an attack with respect to the areas of the POK, then the Indian navigation satellite system will come into prominence. Through this Indian navigation satellite system, they will directly go to trace the individuals who are occupying or the place or the positions of the enemy. And hence this Indian regional navigation satellite system is very much crucial to be performed, to be directly going with the basics of this very navigation satellite system. ISRO has not only helped the Indian Navy or the Indian Indian government with respective to the navigation satellite systems, as well as the art observation system, as well as the communication satellite system, but it has immensely helped in exploring the space, which is full of we don't know fully about the space. We don't know clearly about the space even today. We don't know if there is a presence of some aliens or there. Okay, we don't know how many planets, how many stars have got the various traces of various molecules that are found in Earth. So in various perspectives, in various respects, we can see that the ISRO has contributed a lot to directly go with the space exploration as well as the promotion of the space sciences. The space or the very Indian space programs encompasses researches in various areas like astronomy, astrophysics, planetary and earth sciences, where the satellites are coming under the category of astrosats, the Mars Orbiter mission, that is the MOM, okay, that is the Mangalyaan. We can see about Chandrayaan 1, we can see about Chandrayaan 2, okay. So all these are very much crucial for exploring the space. If I respectively go with this AstroSat, we can see that AstroSat, which was launched back during the time of 2015 by the PSLV C-30 rockets. This first AstroSat was dedicated alongside the Indian astronomy mission that aimed at studying the celestial sources in X-ray optics and UV spectral bands. So in various aspects, we could see that this AstroSat directly goes on to explore the Earth about the celestial sources, be it with respect to the ultraviolet rays, be it with respect to the X-ray rays, okay, the UV spectral bands, everything will be studied under this AstroSat. Supposedly, if I am directly going with the MOM, okay, you will understand this more often, the Mars Orbiter mission. This Mars Orbiter mission, which is also known as Mangalyaan, okay, we have assumed the category of Mangalyaan to be something, see, the Mangalyaan or the Mars Orbiter mission was truly a landmark invention or a landmark maiden interplanetary mission of ISRO, which was launched back by the time of 2013. And this Mars Orbiter mission has successfully got inserted into the Martian orbit by the time of 2014. And this is the very first attempt of a country in respective to send a very orbiter mission to a nearby planet, which is very much far from Earth. Okay. This Mars Orbiter mission, which was launched on board by a PSLV rocket, which with an aim of studying the Martian surface and various types of mineral composition, as well as to scan the atmosphere, and it directly was sent to find the atmospheric content for methane. This MOM is credited with many achievements, be it with the cost effectiveness, be it with the short period of realization, be it with economical weight that is very much of budgetary in practice, be it with the miniaturization of various types of payloads, okay, be it with the study of the 2 moons of Mars, be it the Phobos as well as Deimos, okay. So this Mars or this MOM has directly set up by the ISRO, and it is a big achievement for the ISRO because the ISRO has succeeded to place this Mars Orbiter mission at a very first instant with a very economical way. And till today, we have got various traces that has been sent by the Mars Orbiter mission, that is the MOM. Okay. With reference to the Chandrayaan, we could see Chandrayaan, Chandra means Chandra, that is the moon. Yaan, it's particularly a jet. So this Chandrayaan 1 is the India's first mission to moon, which was an unmanned spacecraft, along with some of the scientific payloads built in various countries, be it with India, be it with Bulgaria, be it Sweden, be it with USA, various countries together build this type of payloads, which has been on board in this Chandrayaan 1. And this mission directly launched aboard the PSLV C-11 rockets, and it was launched back by the time of 2008. Okay. So this spacecraft was designed to study the moon, orbiting around it at a height of some around 100 kilometers from the lunar surface. Okay. And hence we can see that this Chandrayaan 1 has achieved more than the 90% of its planned objectives. Jimankhini ami plan korisilo. Okay, ami bhabisilo je we will directly go with the very process. Je we will directly see the various conditions. Okay, supposedly we'll find the traces. Even this very things has found the traces of molecules of water in the very moon. We are the first country to be named so. So hence this Chandrayaan 1 has directly went up to trace various number of elements, various number of objectives that it was planned to. With respect to the Chandrayaan 2, that is the India's second mission to the moon, we can see that this Chandrayaan 2 is totally an India's indigenous mission. Agotu The very previous one, that is Chandrayaan-1, was not an indigenous mission. We have got association from various countries. But this India's second mission to the moon is totally an indigenous mission, comprising of an orbiter, comprising of a lander, comprising of a rover. Okay. So in this very process, we have planned that after reaching some of the 100 km to the lunar orbit, the lander housing the rover will separate from the orbiter, and after a controlled descent, the lander will softly land on the lunar surface at a specified site and deploy the very rover. Okay? And the very payloads that is associated with the Chandrayaan-2 will collect the scientific information of the lunar topography, of the lunar mineralogy, of the lunar elemental abundance, the lunar atmosphere, and various types of signatures, be it respective with the water-wise, hydroxyl, soap kini bisari. The payloads will directly analyze and it will send it to the respective Earth. Okay? Earth hole directly it will get sent. So hence this various number of scientific explorations is very much of eminent for a country like India, which is going at a very faster rate. We are counted among the top nations which has done or which has directly elevated their space programs in such a rapid rate. Okay. So in this due time for various activities, okay, in this due time with these various activities, we can see we have used various number of small satellites. Okay. We have used various number of experimental satellites so as to directly find out various types of traces of minerals, of water in various planets. Supposedly, if I'm talking about the small satellites project is a very providing platform for the ISRO, and here the Indian mini satellites are used, okay, and are launched by the various PSLV vehicles, okay. And here we could see that this experimental satellites or the small satellites are even launched by various number of technological institutions, be it the IITs, be it the NITs, okay. They work in collaboration with the ISRO, and hence they are directly going up with the small satellites because of some type of experimental purpose, okay. Even we have been going with the academical satellites, okay. So these academical satellites, be it the Kalamsat V2, you have heard about it, okay, named after APJ Abdul Kalamji, okay, be it the Jugnu, okay, be it the StudSat, okay. So this particular small type of satellites, this particular type of insular satellites, these satellites are basically to venture into space technology on various, and they directly goes up with the orbits of the Earth, okay. And hence we could see that the ISRO provides a good support so as to increase the tendency of the various educational institutions to go or to build up with such type of small satellites, okay. And in the near futures, this type of students, this type of people directly from this type of technological institutions will directly go and make the Indian space research program successful. With these very performances that has been made by ISRO, we can see that ISRO has also planned for a manned mission to the space. Okay. For this manned mission, the Indian government has already announced by the time of 2018 about 100 billion rupees, which was set to be launched by 2022. But in this due period, because of Corona pandemic, because of the COVID pandemic, we could see that this may be slightly delayed by at least 2023 or 24. But as of now, we do not have any type of clear evidence, okay, or any type of clear report that when it will be particularly launched. But when it was started back by the time of 2018, it was purely decided that we will directly launch a manned mission by the time of 2022. Okay. In this very project, it was named as Gaganyaan. The project is a part of the government's ambition to make India a global low-cost provider of services in the space. If I have to go with the space, if I have to transfer something, you have to transport something to the very space, then the country or all the countries of the world may think or consider India to go with the due process of transporting the elements from the earth to the space. Okay. In this very process, the launch vehicle was who will directly be taking up this Indian manned space program is the heaviest rocket that has been used, that is the GSLV Mach 3. Okay, so GSLV Mach 3 is being developed in such a way so that it could carry some of the heavy payloads ridden with the cryogenic engines. I will get the difference between GSLV, PSLV and all these things. Okay, so I'm just going with the very missions as of now. In this very process, we have seen that the ISRO has already tested the GSLV Mach 3, okay, and its various process, because we all know it has got a 3-stage process. Okay, so in this very manned space mission, we have got various complexities. Okay, and therefore there is a need of some of the advanced technologies that we should particularly go, and we should directly collaborate with some of the other agencies so that they could help it out to give us the better technology that we directly have to consider during the manned mission. Okay. In this due process, the ISRO, that is the ISRO's launch vehicle, be it the PSLV as well as the GSLV, which we know that PSLV is the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle and the GSLV is the Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle. So PSLV delivers everything with respective to the Earth observation or with respective to the remote sensing satellites in the polar orbit of the Earth. Okay. Apart from launching the remote sensing satellites, okay, the PSLV is also used to launch the satellites lower mass of about 1400 kg. Okay, and that too in the elliptical orbit of the Earth. So 1400 K, like less than 1400 kgs, we are directly going with the preference of the PSLV. And this PSLV, what I have said in the time of CSLV, it's a 3-stage rocket. This PSLV is a 4-stage launch vehicle with first and the third stage using the solid fuel and the second and the fourth stage using the liquid fuel. Okay. So it's a 4-stage launch vehicle. And PSLV is directly classified into various versions also. Okay, some of them are classified as PSLV CA, some are classified as PSLV XL variants. Okay, so something which is directly going between 700 to less, they are classified as PSLV CA. The XL category is something which is going beyond from 700 to 1400. So this is a mechanism with respect to the PSLVs. If I directly go with the GSLVs, these GSLVs delivers the communication satellites to the geosynchronous transverse orbits, that is of the height of 36,000 km above the altitude of Earth. Okay, and hence in this very GSLVs we can see that GSLVs are also of the 2 versions which are developed by the ISRO, and we could see that the first version of the GSLV Mach 3 has the capability to launch between 2,500 kg to the particular geosynchronous transverse orbit. Okay, so this GSLV Mach 3 or this GSLV satellites is a 3-stage fuel satellite, with the first stage being solid fuel, second stage using liquid fuel, and the third stage using the cryogenic upper stage, which is directly by use of the cryogenic engines. Okay, but this particular space programs, okay, have faced various challenges in the due time in respective with the country of India. Our country has faced various challenges with respective to this various programs that we have started back by the time with the launch of Aryabhatta. See, India has still got an allocation problem of resources. Okay, India has also got some of the advanced technological progress. Okay, but this is also of less standards. India is still a developing country with vast developmental and security concerns. And in this very context, we can see that it is very difficult to justify the allocations for space missions that do not have a direct bearing on development. Okay, so this space missions, supposedly if you have gone through the very mission, supposedly this very movie that is known as this Mangalyaan. Okay, So in this very movie, Akshay Kumar, Vidya Balan, and every other actor, actress, okay. So in this very movie, you can see that when he goes to demand some of the amount for this very Mangalyaan mission, so we could see that there is no particular affiliations. There is no particular amount that has been allocated to this very mission. The money that has been allocated to Chandrayaan is directly been redirected towards this Mangalyaan mission. Okay. So hence we could see, obviously, that here we also face some of the security concerns from our neighboring states. Okay, be it with respective with the Chinese, be it respective with the Pakistanis. Okay, who directly wants to directly tamper the ISRO's navigational or this particular type of satellite launch. So by Bisare, the Ekinesian directly they wants that this should not be directly going. India should not develop its perspective with related to the development. So hence in this due process, we have seen that India has faced various number of problems with respect to their neighboring nations, and hence these space missions do not have a direct bearing on development. The successful launching, of various number of space organizations or the very space number of satellites, we can see that nowadays the anti-satellite missile system, which is known as the ASAP, that is tested by China during the time of 2007, has also elevated the threat of a slow-moving arm race in the space. Okay. So DRDO, which is working in development of this missile technology, okay, is necessarily looking for a partner with the United States and other countries. But in this very process, we can see that the main hindrance is respectively with the Chinese. The Chinese never wanted to work in collaboration with the ISRO as well as with the DRDO. Because in this due process, the people or the very scientists of India could learn the respective elements of the nearby China. Okay. So India holds the view that reliance on this type of outer space as well as the cyber capabilities should be of eminent importance for a country like India, which have got two-front war mechanisms in the northern side. Okay. ISRO has also some of the internal constraints on its capacity to deliver. We have seen in the recent past about some of the failed missions of the ISRO even. So here we have seen that because of the fund problem, okay, because of the internal politics that is happening in the ISRO with respect to the various agencies, we could see that various missions are duly not affiliated with the very developmental missions of the country of India. Okay. In this due process, we can even see, or we could even collaborate with Elon Musk, okay, so that he could take us to some of the new heights. Okay. So these processes with respective to the Indian space programs is very much of necessity. Okay, is very much of necessity so that we could go up with the advantages. Okay, we could go up with the advantages because see, in the near time, supposedly Ami Vidya, we have seen in the recent past that the very Indian space research organization, okay, is directly credited and had a big role of an eminent scientist of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. Okay. So he understood at that time only the need for a space research and was convinced of the role it can play in to help a nation develop. Okay, so we should not see ISRO and its various programs only with respective to the developmental or to some of the instances that I bhabu, they like maybe they may not succeed. We should appreciate. Okay, we should go up with the process. We should provide proper funding. We should incorporate us with some of the developed nations so that we could directly learn various technologies out of the space mechanisms. Okay. The Department of Space, which was created back by the time of 1972, and ISRO became a part of it, which remains till date, who reports directly to the Prime Minister of India, they directly went on for various number of contributions towards the space missions in our country. So during various instances, we have seen that this ISRO has contributed a lot for the development of this nation, okay, for the development of various perspective, for the launch vehicles, okay. Agote amar so GSLV nasile. We have directly went on so as to carry some of the higher payloads, okay. Even you can see during the time of the 80s, the Bhaskara 1 missions, okay, the various number of communication satellites, okay, and even you could see the ACL, that is the Antrix Corporation Limited, which is a marketing as well as the or it can be said as the marketing arm of the ISRO, who directly promote the commercial exploration of the space products and transfer of technologies that are developed by ISRO. Today, ISRO has touched some of the new heights by successfully incorporating various number of satellites into the space of some of our neighboring countries. Okay. ISRO has many facilities which are dedicated toward the study in space. You can see about the VSSC, okay, VSSC, that is the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in Thiruvananthapuram, okay, and we could directly assume Vikram Sarabhai to be the founding father of the Indian space program during the time of the 1960s. We could also find the institution known as the LPSC, that is the Liquid Propulsion System Center in Thiruvananthapuram, that too in Kerala. Okay, we could find the SDSC, that is the Satish Dhawan Space Center, that is in Sriharikota. Okay, we could find the Space Application Center, that is the SAC in Ahmedabad, and we could find the National Remote Sensing Center, the NRSC in Hyderabad. Okay, so hence in this all these periods, in all these institutions, we could see a major development with respective to the very space explorations, and hence in this period of time we could see that ISRO has launched various number of satellites through its various rockets, be it the PSLV, be it the GSLV, okay, or which can be also be referred to as the lower medium satellites, okay, that is the geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle, that is under GSLV Mach 3, okay. So we have directly went on even what I have just now discussed about the MOB, that is the Mars Orbiter mission, okay. So in this due process, even slowly and slowly, ISRO went on to grow with the supersonic combustion ramjet engines, be it the scramjet engines, and during the time of 2016, even ISRO has performed this particular scramjet engine techniques, okay, by using some type of advanced technology vehicles, okay, and hence this ISRO scramjet technique is very much useful for the ISRO because it uses the reusable fuel as well as it directly